Hey guys and girls, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. My camera's a little kittywampus. We have the Yamaha that we put the LR bags pickup in. We are getting ready to place the battery, place the volume control pod, and then we're going to clean the guitar up and do a complete setup on it. So let's get to work. And remember, if you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe. Get my camera set. Okay, so little pocket for the battery. You guys have all seen this. What did they give us in here? Some other tabs for, don't know. I'll check that out later. We already tested it in the first video. We know that it works. So the little battery connector, that's going to go through a pocket over here. This little bag is meant to hold the battery. Oh, they gave us a whole bunch of these little guys. Yeah, I don't know. We don't need them. They gave us a pad, and this is what we're going to stick. Super stick them. And we're going to put that right over here underneath to hold the little bag. And you want to make sure that gets pressed down really good. And then this has Velcro on it, so it goes. And then you can change your battery when you have your strings off. I have a brand new battery for them. And we're going to see how the wires are going to run. This is his volume control, and it's going to sit right here. Again, super stickum 3M sickum tape, so it sticks out kind of like that, and it just says VOL, so you know that's where your volume knob is, and you can easily adjust your volume on the fly. I'm going to kind of stick that right. Put a piece of tape so I know where to put it, because once it goes in there, I don't want it to move. There is no Velcro on this. This is just peel and stick, and that's all you need. I mean, once you get your volume set on this, your amp should always be set, and you know where it's going to be. Come off of there, you. Yeah, of course it's going to fight me. Just like so. And that will stay there, and then you can just reach in with your finger. Your E string is going to be right about here. And you have your volume control. Yahtzee. Beautiful. That wire's out of the way. It's usually the 9-volt battery wire that becomes an issue, but once it's in there, it should stay. If I have to, I'll tuck a piece of tape on it later, but I'm not going to get too concerned about that. So battery, yeah, really easy stuff. By the way, I tested the battery. I never ever put a battery in unless I pull out the multimeter and check it. This has got 9.63 volts, so it is a good new battery, and you can see by looking through the hole, none of the wires are showing through. Now, if we hold the guitar like that, yeah, the battery wires exactly what I thought. So I'm going to try to put a little piece of tape on that just to hold it out of the way so you don't see it. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, a little piece of blue tape right there. Maybe we'll move it in farther. Maybe we'll move it in farther. I'm assuming that's what all these little tabs are. They're bendy. We can try to use one of those, but I don't know. Do we really need to? I guess we could put that out of the way and stick it over there. Why not? Use what they gave us. LR bags. They think of everything. Stick it there, put the wire on it, and then bend it to hold the wire. Right up there. And that way, now the wire can't move. Yeah, I like that. I like that, and I can live with that. It's better than using a piece of blue tape, and when you look down in there, nothing is visible all the way up. I'm going to put it full and then back it off just a bit. And that, I like that too. That seems really secure. So yeah, 3M tape. We all grew up with it. Good stuff. And now guess what? It's time to move on to clean up. Yes. And I'm not going to bore you all with the exact procedure. You've seen it a million times. We are going to spray and clean and oil, and we're going to really do these frets well. The first thing I'm going to do is scrub this board because damn, it is filthy. There's a lot of DNA and goop and stuff on there, and I just want to get rid of it. Non-silicone cleaner spray, go to it. Don't be afraid. It won't hurt anything. And what it'll do is it'll pull all of that oil, dead skin, and it was a lot of it. In fact, I may have to get after it a couple of times, and I may even have to take a straight edge and scrape some of it off, because there's a lot of it right here in the money zone. This guy plays a lot, and there's a lot of shit on there that I don't want on there anymore. I'm going to pause while I let this sit on there a little bit and loosen that goop up. I'll be right back. So elapsed time was only about 5 minutes. It builds up on there, and some of it is really hard to get off, but don't be afraid. Use this is not a super aggressive brush. And yeah, it makes a difference. Get that crap off of there, because that's what your string is sitting on when you're fretting chords. Yeah, your DNA gets all over everything. It's skin, it's oil, and the nut just popped off. I knew that was going to happen. I could tell by looking at it. It was giving me the hairy eyeball. Yeah, now the board is nice and clean, and you can see the crap that comes off of it. Some of it is dye, but most of it is just who knows? I mean, the stuff that gets stuck to an exposed fretboard. I'm going to dry it off one more time. And then we're going to glue the nut back in. That only takes a second. Those things pop out all the time on the... I don't know why they pop out on acoustic guitars all the time. Now, once I get it to this stage, then I'm going to go to polishing the frets. But the first thing we're going to do is get that nut glued back on there. Yeah. Tool back where it belongs. We need that since we have everything put in. You know, sometimes people put too much glue on these, and sometimes they don't put enough. And when they don't put enough, that's what happens. It pops off. Make sure that you look at both mating surfaces and there's nothing really big sticking out. And that test fit it. It's going to go back in where it is supposed to. Somebody may have put a new nut in this at some point in its life and it wasn't done right, but this one looks like it fits nicely and it will glue right back in, no problem. If it doesn't, then you got to stop there and address that issue, and yeah, that can be fun, another fun job all on its own. Nothing sticking to it, everything's gone. All right, come here. That's the stuff I use, and it is super fast and super strong. And let me tell you, a little goes a long way, and if you get it on your fingers and you don't get it off right away, I'll pick you up at the emergency room after you go over there and have them fix you up. Just a little bit, and a little bit goes a long way. When I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. You don't have to slather it on there. And just that amount of time that it took me to put the top back on that shit is ready to seal. Just that fast. Just that fast. It's almost instant. I have used a lot of different ones over the years, and I prefer the one that goes really fast. Now, I have stuff that's even more aggressive than that. Of course, every guitar guy does. CA glue, what have you, but ultra thin CA glue, you don't want to use that on there. You'll never get it off. After 6 months, a year, you should be able, any guy that works on this guitar in the future should be able to just take a little rubber hammer and go tick, 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 and it should pop right off. That's why I say a little bit. So I'm going to pause there and let that dry while I start cleaning up the frets. I don't need you guys to see that. So usually I don't show this whole process. Really ultra fine Scotch-Brite. I cut them in little small pads and use the fret protector, the board protector. You just kind of take all the heavy stuff off with this, right? And I've done them all. I'm just doing these last few to show you. And you don't need anything super aggressive for this because you don't want to add any scratches to the frets. That's it. And then we take a little bit of polish. And this is tedious. This is the tedious part of the work. We cleaned the board. We're going to polish it now, and then we're going to oil it. Right? We took all the heavy stuff off of the frets, but we still need to polish the frets. And that's where this stuff comes in. We put a little polish on there. And then you go to it. And you think this doesn't matter? It does. That's the tarnish coming off of those frets. And you do each one like that in a clean spot, right? Each one. Little elbow grease, little extra care. It's going to make those frets look better and feel better to the player. You can agree, you can disagree, but yeah, I do it. I want my guys to feel, my customers to feel their guitar is better when I gave it back to them than it has been in a long, long time. Forget about the main job. The main job was putting in a pickup, but I can't give him back his guitar all nasty and grungy and crappy. I got the strings off. I'm going to take the time to clean it up and do this as basic stuff that your guitar tech should be doing for you. You know, I say it all the time. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do it? I'm going to do them all, so stand by. I don't need you to watch every single step of it. I'm going to pause, and I'll be right back. These frets are going to be standing tall when I'm done. What's the next step? Yeah, we polished the frets. We sanded them. First, we cleaned them really lightly with ultra fine Scotch-Brite. Then we polish them. And then the next step is, yeah, we're going to go after the oil on the board. Now, you know, everybody hears about that. They drop the guitar. Oh, yeah, oiled up your board. Okay, well, does anybody ever get to see that? Do you really know? Is that what happened? Who knows? What did he use? Olive oil? No, he used linseed oil. And this stuff is the bomb. Many of you have seen this, but like I said, this is not always just for mass consumption. The gentleman that owns this guitar will get to see everything I did for him. And you know who you are. And not only do I see the tarnish is still coming off, so we may have to do this twice. And yeah, the board was a little dry, but not terrible, but it was enough for me to want to treat it. Not only do I do that, but I want to get after this too. You know, make it look nice. Why not? Right? Yeah, a lot of tarnish still coming off. That's kind of the last step in it. That's kind of the last step. See, it didn't take a whole lot of oil on there. I think I'm going to wipe this off, and then I'm going to treat it one more time because I think the wood really needs it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I think this one, it may have been oiled recently in the last 3 or 4 years, but yeah, I want to get more of that crap off. I'm gonna treat it one more time off camera, and then we'll get back to the setup. Stand by. So yeah, we're running out of time again. The last thing I do, I oiled the board twice, and of course cleaning up the frets, but you want to go through one more time and just get after them because a little bit more comes off. Get that tarnish off of there because that will grow. It's like a mold. Tarnish on metal. It's the bane of every guitar tech's existence. You want them to stay shiny forever, but of course they don't. See, a little bit more comes off, but that's what you want at the very end, a little bit left. And if you take the time to do it right, that's all you get at the end. So I'm gonna clean this up, of course, because that's what I do. And I can't wait to get this strung up, do a setup, and play it through our new pickup. Yeah, I'm gonna get this thing standing tall. Get this thing standing tall. Always clean up. Always do the frets and the board. Boy, this guitar is dirty. I'm going to pause again. I know you guys hate that, but click through and you'll see what it looks like when I'm finished here. And then we'll do the restring and setup. Stand by. So, yeah, we strung it up. We're going to test our work here in a moment, but the first thing I want to do is tune it. So we got it all tuned up, and really nice little guitar. It's got a lot of resonance. Of course, we cleaned it up and did a lot of work on this. I mean, aside from putting a pickup in it. I'm really curious. I can tell by sighting down the neck that it's a little bowed, banana. I know we're going to get some relief out of this. Yeah, it's got too much relief in it. I am going to straighten it slightly, and then I'm going to measure the string height. Now, off camera, before I put this thing together, I shaved the saddle down to compensate for the added height that we gained by putting the pickup under there. That's just standard operating procedure. I knew that it was going to raise our action. Let me see here. We're going to tighten it. It seems pretty loose. I know that I need to straighten the neck. It's got just a little too much relief in it. It seems like it just went slack. There must be a two-way in this, a two-way truss rod. And I know I'm going to need to bend it a little bit straighter. Yep, there, we just grabbed. I'm going to give it one more little turn. It was almost slack, and that's why the neck was in a banana. I'm going to sight that and then measure it again. I'm going to say that probably straightened it quite a bit, and it did. Let's measure it to confirm that, because it was really loose, and it shouldn't be. Yeah, I like that. Now we're going to retune. Yep, everything went sharp a bit. And that will happen when you straighten the neck up. You're putting more tension on everything, so it went a little sharp. Let's see where our string action is. That may be all we have to do. I'm hoping I don't have to pull that back out. Where is my string gauge? There we go. I'm hoping I don't have to pull that out and cut it down more. We have plenty of room if we have to do that. But I don't think we're going to need to. Yeah, we're right at just over 5 and right at 4. Let's make sure we're not buzzing open. You can't ask for better than that on an acoustic, because usually you're around 6 or 7 on the bass side and usually around 5 or 6 on the treble. For an entry level, not an expensive guitar, that is really good action. And here is the proof in the pudding. Just to make sure we're tuned up. Of course, brand new strings, they're still trying to go a little flat. We should be good. We should be good there. Yeah, I like that. I like that. This is a nice sounding little guitar. And here's the proof in the pudding. We got electronics in there. And shut it off. electronics in a guitar that didn't have it before. LR bags. I'm going to tell you, it's good gear. I've used it before. For ease of operation. Now, I've spent a couple of hours dealing with this guitar, 2 or 3 hours, actually more than that. And the end result is now we can come through an amplifier. But I did spend a lot of time polishing the frets, oiling the board. Much of the work was cutting this hole out, cutting that hole, running the electronics, getting everything. You can see in the hole, there's nothing there. The only thing you really see is the volume. And it's pretty secure. It's not moving around. That's why I use LR bags stuff. I mean, it's not the high end, but it's not the low end. It's above the middle and towards the high end stuff. I mean, it's not cheap. You can buy $50 stuff and throw it in the guitar and you're not going to be happy with it. This you'll be happy with. This is a really nice little instrument for what it is. He upgraded it a lot, and success. You can now plug it into an amp. Blackjack with 396 guitars. Thanks for hanging in there. We'll talk soon. And remember, if you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe. Ciao, bella.